Pretty boy, come closer.
I couldn't find out at home, but I knew. The thought of my parents finding out scared me more than the idea of being a mother. All my fears were confirmed in 2 double blue lines. And when I looked in the mirror, I only saw a reflection of myself. I didn't pray that morning when I woke up, but I was screaming at God in that bathroom.
Good afternoon, Jake. What do you want first?
Bad news.
Well, the bad news is that you have a potentially fatal illness. The good news is that a bone marrow transplant can save you and put you in remission.
Transplant?
That's right. You have 1 match, and I'm glad you decided to bring your sister.
Well, my other family doesn't really speak to me anymore.
She's your only match. However, the operation can be extremely risky for the child.
Wait, what baby?
It's when I told him everything.
What do you mean by that?
Everything. That I was pregnant, and that it happened the night he took me to the party. He was just trying to be the cool older brother. He didn't know that would happen. He held it together when he was told there was the potential of him dying. But he lost it when he found out it happened that night. He just kept saying it was his fault over and over again and shaking his head and crying. And all I could do was tell him it wasn't his fault and that he didn't know that was gonna happen.
How did he respond to that?
He cried a lot. He said he'd never been more sorry in his life and that he couldn't even imagine asking me to give him the transplant. That he wasn't gonna let me put my baby's life in danger. He'd messed my life up enough already. And he said that if he was half the brother he wished he was, he wouldn't even consider letting me do the transplant. I've never felt so alone. I feel like I've been calling a number that's been out of service for the last 16 years. I had to tell my parents because I could tell they knew something was wrong. Once I told them, they expected that there was a clear father and that I had to marry him. And once they found out that I didn't even know who the father was, I've never seen him so mad. And then I told him all about Jake and how he's dying and about the transplant and they expect me to save my baby over my own brother. How can they say that about their own son?
The choices you make may, at the end of the day, change who you are, rattle your beliefs. But it's important to realize, Jennifer, your beliefs are supposed to guide you, not define you. They're supposed to reflect who you are, not constrain you or bind who you are. It's hard. It's hard enough to hurt people you don't even know. It's way harder to hurt people you've loved your whole life or you're beginning to love. But at the end of the day, when you look back at the whole thing, you have to realize God is not to blame for this. Your brother is not to blame for this. You only have the person in the mirror to point your finger at. And that's not a bad thing. That's the best thing. You are responsible for you, through good and through bad.
Everything I had believed in, everything I knew, it didn't belong with me anymore. I made the wrong choice.